Good evening, everybody. Welcome to our webinar this evening. My name's Brian Murray, the Director of Travel here at AAA, and I'm delighted that you decided to spend some time with us. We're talking about the Caribbean and all-inclusive vacations and some wonderful resorts down in the Caribbean islands. So I'm really excited about that. I do want to mention everyone is in listen-only mode. So if you do have any questions, please type them in the question panel on your screen, and we'll address questions at the end of the presentation. As well, I wanted to mention we are offering all participants in the program this evening $100 off per booking on any 5-night or more new Caribbean booking with Pleasant Holidays, or $50 off any 4-night or less new booking with Pleasant Holidays. And that expires the 13th of February. So again, we're really wanting to share the ideas and opportunities for travel. A lot of people are making plans for travel later this year and next year. So we want to kind of pique everybody's interest and kind of share some excitement. So we'll get the program started. I'd like to introduce Stephen Perry, who's a sales specialist with Pleasant Holidays. Stephen, thank you so much for spending some time with us this evening.
All right, thank you, Brian, and thank you everyone for being here. I really appreciate it. I always enjoy doing these webinars and just doing training overviews or basic overviews rather of destinations, promoting them, hearing your questions. Brian and I were just speaking before this webinar started about that I enjoy them because it really gets me excited about the destinations all over again every single time I talk about them. And the Caribbean is no different. I go to the Caribbean regularly, and every island is unique. I will focus mostly on, or a little bit extra rather, on the Dominican Republic and Jamaica. However, I will be covering some of the other islands as well. Mostly the ones that we find are the most requested right now. So I will kind of go through these alphabetical order, actually, just a handful of them, and teach you a little bit about each one. But if you have questions for me, please go ahead and ask them. And I will address some of the COVID testing entry and exit requirements as we go through the presentation. So Pleasant Holidays is great partners with AAA. We're actually owned by AAA. So we clearly work very well together. For the Caribbean, we work with 23 different islands there, about 284 different hotels in total. Now, what stands out about the Caribbean is that all-inclusive resorts are very popular here. You don't have to go to all-inclusive resorts. There's definitely plenty, as we call them in the travel industry, EP or European plan resorts. But all-inclusive definitely is common on most of the islands in the Caribbean. And one reason why is it's designed so that you don't really need to leave your resorts. A lot of these islands are amazing, but maybe the resort's a little bit further removed. So it or it just makes it more convenient having everything at your resort. Now, on that all-inclusive note, there's lots of all-inclusive adult-only and family-friendly options. And there are adult-only and family-friendly EP-style hotels as well. But what really stands out for the Caribbean specifically, even more so than, let's say, Mexico, is that the family-friendly is really more family focused at many of these resorts. And I'll give you some examples as we go on. Family friendly can be as simple as kids are allowed, but family focus is resorts that focus on having lots of activities for the kids so that they're not sitting by their parents or grandparents the entire time looking for you to entertain them. So I'll give you some examples of that. And then the adult only breaks it down into standard, just adults only at the hotel, but there's also couples focus or friend focus. So it really helps make it easy on exactly what you're looking for. You can find within the Caribbean. They specialize in that category. There is also condos, villas, and residences that I'll touch base on. Not a lot of cruising right now, but there is some cruise options generally in the Caribbean. That's one of the more popular cruises. And VIP Airport Lounge, I'll talk about when we get to Jamaica. I think you guys are going to like that. And don't forget to work with your AAA travel advisor and add activities before you go. That way you're guaranteed to get the best deals and just take the hassle out of it. Odds are that, especially if you go to an island for the first time, you might want to do some sightseeing or activities. So this is a map of the Caribbean, including all of the different islands that we work with. Don't worry, we're not going to go into very many of them. I'm going to touch on Bahamas. Obviously, I will touch on Dominican Republic and Jamaica, which I mentioned. Also will touch on St. Lucia and Turks and Caicos. Before I get into those, though, I do want to point out now, even though I did not add Puerto Rico and US Virgin Islands to this. Those are great options, especially right now. And the reason is that to return back to the United States from the Caribbean or anywhere outside of the US, guests are required to take a COVID-19 test and pass. In other words, you can be denied boarding. It's not as bad as it sounds. I'll go into it. However, Puerto Rico and US Virgin Islands are US territories. You are not required to take that test to get back home to mainland US. So that really makes it stand out as a great option. And you don't need passport. So really great option to make it very easy for you to travel. All right, so starting with the Bahamas. Bahamas has a little of everything, and it's definitely one of the names that comes to mind when you think about the Caribbean. And you have areas for adults only. You have some of the most beautiful resorts in the entire world. You also have family focused resorts. The top left, for example, is a very popular resort, being Atlantis, that has a little something for everybody. But this is definitely one of the most commonly booked and repeat guests go back. There's great water sports, snorkeling, scuba diving, lots of hotels to choose from, beautiful water, really ideal for families, beachgoers, and water sports enthusiasts. Water sports enthusiasts can include scuba diving and snorkeling whenever I mention that, as well as deep sea fishing is very popular. Any kind of boating, catamaran rides are also very popular. A map of exactly where that is, you can see where it says the Bahamas here. It's very close to Florida. Very quick flight or connection from places like Miami or other airports within the US. Nassau, you can see just north, just off the right side there of the Bahamas. That's the main airport that guests fly into because it's closest to the majority of hotels that vacationers want to go to. That said, there are other airports and other hotels on other islands within the Bahamas. Some of the top hotels that I want to point out, again, that one I mentioned earlier, now it's on the top right image, that's the Atlantis. So I specifically mentioned the Royal, but there's different towers at Atlantis that focus on different things and just in different areas. Atlantis does also have an adults only section. So if you're somebody who wants to go to this hotel, because it's very unique, I'll tell you about it, but you want to, get away from kids as well, there is an adults only section here. But one thing that makes Atlantis stand out is the water park there. It's very popular. You don't technically have to be staying at the resort to access it, but there is a charge if you want day use to be able to go to that water park. But really cool water park. They have a water slide that's very steep. You can see it in the photo. I know it's probably small for you, but it looks like the pyramid there. It's got a water slide down the front. So you drop down that water slide and then you go underwater. There's a man-made lagoon there that's full of sharks, and you can see them as you go underneath, since it's got a safety glass tube that you go through. So pretty fun. They also have things like swim with dolphins, which is a very common activity. I'm actually going to highlight that on the next slide. But really, just imagine everything, including a casino. You have a casino option here. Lots of, it's not really history. It's focused on, obviously, Atlantis, the name of the resort. So lots of cool things to see, museums, that sort of thing as well. Next up, the second photo is Sandals. I will get into Sandals more, especially when we talk about Jamaica. But Sandals is an adults only all-inclusive. It's really focused on couples. Not the ideal resort for friends to go to. It is possible, but it's really focused on romance and couples and having everything included. So that means all of your meals, all of your drinks, including alcoholic beverages, activities, including stand-up paddleboarding. You can do sailboating. Really, everything you can imagine is included with Sandals. Their entire goal is so that couples do not need to open their wallet while they're there. They do have some things that you can add on, like spa services is something that would be an add-on there, but great job for having everything included and being focused on couples. Rosewood Bahamar. Bahamar is a newer development that has lots of different hotels, including the Rosewood. What I like about the Rosewood Bahamar is it has a family program and it has residences. You can get 3 to 6 bedroom residences. So if you want to go out with the extended family, family reunion, multi-generational family, this is a really nice option in Paradise for you. And then I didn't put a photo here, but the Ocean Club Four Seasons, this is as luxury as it gets. If you're familiar with Four Seasons, you'll know that they are ultimate 5-star. These are villas here, so it gives you that sense of privacy. As far as activities, this is a look at that dolphin experience. Totally candid shots, right? No, they're clearly models that were taking these photos, but exactly what you get to do with the dolphin experience. 2.5 hours. This is something that the entire family can do, or just kids can do, or however many people you want within the party. There's not that many places that you can swim with dolphins anymore. This is one of them. All right, so the Dominican Republic, this is our #1 island in the Caribbean, and honestly, I think it's our #2 destination in everything we sell. So, and it's a fairly small island. This is a place that guests love to go to and love to go back to time and time again. And the reason why is it's pretty easy, for one. COVID restrictions are very easy as well, and they have endless hotels to choose from, including the focus of all-inclusive. The resorts in the DR, as we call it, Dominican Republic, are designed so that you have no interest to leave the resort. You can definitely do tours and activities, but your resort's going to have everything you can ever imagine, including nightly entertainments. And then you have pristine water and beaches. So the other thing about the Dominican Republic, I think a lot of people are not aware of, is it's considered the #1 destination for golf in the Caribbean and Latin America. It has a lot of golf courses, including 25 of the top courses in the entire Caribbean. So beautiful place for golfing with lots to do while you're there. But it also has lots of water sports. You can do motorized water sports in parts of the Dominican Republic as well. That's something that's less common in a lot of destinations. But you have beautiful water, mountains, as well as rainforests. You have 1,000 miles of tropical coastline. This is really ideal for families, beachgoers, water sports enthusiasts, golfers. It also specializes in weddings and honeymoons. Now, why weddings is on there is destination weddings. The Dominican Republic really excels at these resorts. Many of them have designated areas for their weddings right there on the beach or in chapels. They're just really good at it, and that's why it's the #1 wedding destination within the Caribbean that we work with. This is a map of the Dominican Republic. It is connected to Haiti, that you can see where that line is there to separate the two. Most of the resorts are going to be in Punta Cana, all the way on the right-hand side there. on the East Coast. That's the majority of the resorts. You'll have them in Punta Cana, La Romana. There's some in Santo Domingo, Bavaro, also up north. This whole area kind of by where it says 104 is also pretty popular for resorts. As far as just some highlighted resorts, there's over 86 there that we work with now, so there's lots to choose from. This is just some that I like to point out. Secrets Cap Cana Resort. This is an adults only all-inclusive, and Secrets is really focused, especially this Secrets, on having romance options and including a lot of activities. So there's really endless things to do when you're at the Secrets. The Hyatt Ziva Cap Cana is a family all-inclusive. So it's got that Hyatt name, but it is family and it's all-inclusive. Great location right there in Cap Cana, which is one of my favorite locations. You can see the images there in the bottom right. Beautiful rooms or for their accommodations. Then Casa De Campo is always one of the most popular, and the reason why is they are all multiple bedroom villas with private pools, and it's within a gated community. It's important to note that Casa De Campo also houses 3 of the top golf courses in all of the DR. So great for golfers, or if you're looking for multiple bedroom, it really feels like a private home. You can also add grocery service to have the refrigerator and kitchen stocked before you get there. You can even add a private chef, whether it be for one meal or your entire stay. So what's very common for Casa De Campo is it's a pretty low price point, by the way. But what's common is family reunions or larger families having a celebration, go to Casa De Campo, hire a chef for a specific meal, and just be able to relax and enjoy family. To get around, it is a large community. You do have your own golf carts. Now Onyx Punta Cana is one of the newer resorts, family all-inclusive. This has 16 pools. Now, the reason I put that in there is oftentimes when you go to a family resort, and I know this firsthand, I have kids, sometimes you want to get away from the kids and be able to find a pool where maybe there's not as much splashing, or a hot tub that doesn't have a bunch of kids in it. This has plenty of fun pools for kids, and it has adults only options. And with 16, there's easy access to find a pool where there's nobody else in it. So if you want to just be able to relax and you're a pool person, that's a great resort for you. Activities. These codes I will explain right now. HD means half day, FD means full day, T stands for transfers, meaning transfers are included, and M is for meals. So the Bavaro Splash is a half day transfer included activity, and then the Bavaro Runner Safari is a full day transfer included with meals included. They are very similar. Bavaro Splash is for those that maybe don't have as much time, who want to have some fun, take a little jet boat out, get in and snorkel. The Runner Safari includes much of the same, but also has this off-road adventure. And then really any island in the Caribbean, a catamaran is always recommended. This is one of my favorite activities anywhere, and there's lots of them to choose from within the DR. This specific one is a full day meal included and transfer included option. Lots of sailing. You can get out and experience, private beaches as well as shallow water, like you can see kind of on a sandbar, get in, snorkel as well. All right, so Jamaica is our second most commonly booked destination, and it's actually probably, well, I don't know what my favorite is, but I've gone to Jamaica more than any of the other islands in the Caribbean, and I keep going back. And to me, the reason why is there's just a lot to see and something new every time I go. It's a beautiful island. It's very tropical. And every one of the main resort areas is very unique and different. So it's about 90 miles south of Cuba. You can get Cuban cigars there. Beautiful beaches. The sand is phenomenal. Lots of spots for snorkeling and scuba diving, and you can definitely set up a tour to see the best. And then restaurants and bars. So what's more unique about Jamaica from some of the other Caribbean islands is many of the resort areas are in close proximity to a town that has restaurants you can go and enjoy, and shopping, even some nightlife if you choose. You're definitely able to stay at your resort all the time. The resorts are just like in the DR that focus on having everything there, so you never need to leave. But it is easy to go ahead and leave your resort and go into town. What I personally do when I go is, and you can set up a taxi ahead of time or a transfer and go into town. Or like me, I just go to the front desk, have them call me a taxi. I ask the taxi driver if they can take me into town and take me to some of the good shops, and then take me to a nice restaurant and take me back. So I have the same taxi driver the entire time. They absolutely love that. They take you to their favorite shops. I know last time I went, I pulled up to a shop and it was a VIP treatment because the taxi driver, knows the owners of that shop. So they want to make sure that we're taken care of. So as soon as I pull up to this shop, a Red Stripe beer was handed to me, which is always welcome. I can do some shopping, give you great prices. Then I went to, a fun restaurant, had a good meal, and was taken back to my hotel. So I tipped the taxi driver well and had a great experience for very inexpensive. This is an ideal destination for families, beachgoers, water sports enthusiasts, as well as exploring. This is a map of Jamaica. Most of the resort areas will be in Ocho Rios, in the top, Montego Bay, kind of the upper west coast there, Negril, and then there are some as well, a little bit south of Negril. There's some Sandals there. There are resorts in Kingston and this general area, but not very many. Kingston's the largest area there, and the capital. So it's not really a resort area, so there's not a ton of resorts in Kingston. 58 different hotels and resorts that we work with. Now, I mentioned Sandals when we were talking about Bahamas. There's lots of Sandals to choose from in Jamaica. Sandals was originally founded, or the founder created Sandals in Jamaica, and he was born and raised in Jamaica himself. So there's lots of Sandals to choose from depending on what part of the island you would like to go to. I usually stay at Sandals myself. I'm very happy with it. I'm always thrilled with the food. I'm a foodie, and I know sometimes people say or feel like you don't have as good a food at all-inclusives. There are definitely some all-inclusives that focus on cuisine, and Sandals is one of them. I'm always thrilled with the food that I have here. Now, Sandals also owns another brand, which is called Beaches. Beaches, same thing, all-inclusive, everything you could ever imagine included, but this is the family-friendly one. I want to change that. It's not family friendly, it's family focused, it's kids focused. So water parks galore, ice cream bars. Kid you not, your kids can go, or grandkids can go to Beaches and walk up to the ice cream bar and get any ice cream they want. There's nothing to charge back to the room. You can put restrictions on stuff though, but there's nothing they can charge. It's all included. So it's a great opportunity for them to feel almost like adults and have a good time in a safe environment. Hyatt Zalara, Rose Hall is an adults only all-inclusive. This is all suites. So if you are into larger accommodations, still want that all-inclusive style, Hyatt Zalara is a perfect option. And then Couples is newer to our portfolio. Couples is similar to Sandals. Adults only is actually focused, of course, on couples. The difference really, in my opinion, between Couples and Sandals is Couples focuses a little bit more on active guests. They have itineraries scheduled throughout the day that you can join, and it tends to be a little bit more active than Sandals. And what I mean with active is they may have a morning jog scheduled that you can sign up for with your significant other, or scuba diving, or not scuba diving, sorry, snorkeling activities that signed up there. Sandals does do some of that, but Couples just really focuses on that active traveler. So I mentioned we had expanded our Jamaica portfolio. We already all offered the ones you can see and also offer, but we've recently added AM resorts. I know a lot of this doesn't mean much to you. AM resorts consist of properties like Dreams, which is a great family-friendly, all-inclusive, one of my favorites. Zoetree, which is really focused on adults and romance, and Secrets. There's the Bahia Principe brand, Couples, Iberostar. Don't worry about these names. Basically, what that means is there's a lot of additional all-inclusive hotels that we've offered of all different styles. So regardless of what you're looking for, just work with your AAA travel advisor and they will help steer you in the direction of the proper hotel for you. So I mentioned Couples, everything you can imagine. So gourmet dining, premium spirits, scuba diving is included. That's also unique for Couples. Unlimited golf is included. That's unique mostly to Couples. 24-hour room service, nightly live entertainment, and free Wi-Fi. So these are the types of things that you can get at Couples that stands out over some of the other options. Now, I mentioned Sandals and Beaches is my personal favorite there in Jamaica to go to. And there's a lot to choose from. You can see all of the Sandals and Beaches within Jamaica. There is also some Sandals in St. Lucia that I've added there at the bottom. I will be speaking about St. Lucia next. There's Sandals in Antigua, Grenada, Barbados, Turks and Caicos has beaches, as well as the Bahamas. So you can see large brands that spread out throughout the Caribbean. As far as what to do in Jamaica, there's a lot of activities. We have more activities here than most islands. Dunn's River Falls is fun. It may not look as fun or sound as fun, but it's a blast. The bottom left and bottom right image are from Dunn's River Falls. Any age is welcome to. I know they use models for these. Basically, what you do is you hike up a waterfall. It's not real long. It is safe. They actually sand down the rocks to make it make yourself have grip. I do still recommend water shoes though, just a little bit more comfortable for you, but it's a fun experience. You link together with your group and just hold hands and help each other up. It's a lot of fun. And then the sky ride is kind of like a ski lift that takes you through canopies and jungles. So it's just kind of a nice relaxing option. And then the Jamaican Bobsled. There's no snow, obviously, so it's more of a downhill style roller coaster, but definitely lots of fun. You can do any of these on their own or combine everything as shown here. This one's a half-day transfer included. It is for 8 years and up. Now, if you want to slow it down, Bamboo river rafting, I have not done this, but I definitely want to. It's just 1.5 hours, transfers included. It's for 6 years and over, but what stands out to me is more for honeymoon or anniversary, any kind of couples. It's a nice opportunity to just relax and talk and go down a river. It's not really river rafting. You can see it's very slow. You do have a driver and guide who helps you along. And then Lovers Rock Catamaran Cruise is a half-day transfer included. This one's called Lovers Rock because it's adults only. The way that this is done, and honestly, I can tell you that catamarans in Jamaica are better than anywhere in the world, in my opinion. They're a blast. Usually they start off pretty basic, relax on the front catamaran portion of the netting portion of the catamaran. Get a little ocean spray and just relax. Often many of these will stop. You can snorkel or go into town if they dock. But then, the return, especially if it's a evening cruise, when the sun starts going down, that's when the party starts. They have a DJ on board. They do have snacks always. And of course, Jamaican rum punch is always flowing. And it's really a blast. People, I've gone on work trips even there, and to be honest, some of my colleagues, the image you have is like, yeah, okay, they're not gonna be much fun, but by the time the catamaran's coming back, that rum punch is going and the music's being played, they're out there dancing and it's a blast, guaranteed. And then lastly, the VIP airport lounge. There's two services, and this is important for two ways. I'll start with the return, actually, the return service. So you're already in Jamaica, you purchase the access to the club VIP lounge. You're expedited through the Jamaican security line, and you get to go to the air conditioned lounge with complimentary food and beverages, Wi Fi also included. Um, I don't remember the exact cost. I think it's around 35 per person, something along those lines. The one time I did not use it, I spent a lot more money just getting some food. So it's a great value and it's comfortable and it makes you feel important. The arrival service is really important right now, especially if you've never been to Jamaica. That's a service to where when you get off of the airplane and enter the airport, there's airport representative holding a sign with your name. They answer any questions you have and walk you through the customs immigration line and expedite you through it. So you don't have to wait in line, and they help get you through quickly and answer any questions. Why I think that's so huge right now is with COVID, things are a little bit different. You do need a negative COVID test to go to Jamaica. There are some basic health screens, and it's just nice to have someone ensure that you get through and you get through quickly and can answer questions for you. Your AAA travel advisor can set you up with either of these options or both. Almost done. I have two more islands to talk about, and that's it. So it'll go quick. So I mentioned that Jamaica I go to the most frequent. I think that my overall favorite, because of how unique it is St. Lucia. It's very mountainous. You have the pitons. You can see that in two of the images there. This is a very active destination, as well as one of the most beautiful islands or places anywhere on the planet, in my opinion. Um, Full of rainforest, great beaches. It does feel similar to Bora Bora with those pitons there. You don't have the overwater bungalows though. But great pictures. If you're hiking, there's lots of hiking to choose from here, and just a friendly and extremely safe islands. I think that no destination in the world you can say is completely safe, including the US, right? But St. Lucia is right up there with as safe as it gets. There's a section of the island called Gros Islet, which has a street party. Now, the Gros Islet area is just a local community. It has homes similar to what you see here on the mainland US. And what happened is the people who live there got together and said, you know what? Let's throw a street party every week and invite, tourists. We'll have food, we'll have beer, some bartenders will play music and basically have a concert or DJ session. And we're just going to dance and invite, tourists to dance. And it's extremely safe. I went to it myself. It was amazing. Really great time. Highly recommend, and it's free. You don't have to pay to get in. You just go and have a good time. I recommend, buying a drink or some food and partying with the locals. They're doing it to make sure that you're having a good time and come back to the island. And they're also doing it to make a little bit of money for the community as well. Great island for couples, romance, exploring, and beachgoers. This is a map of the island. There's two main resort areas. Castries, which is up here, you can see that name. You can also see where Gros Islet is. Lots of great resorts up there. Some of my favorite resorts are up there. And then the Soufrière area is actually down towards the southwest area. That name's not there, but it's down there. The Soufrière area has more of the mountain views, pitons, a little bit more exploring. So Castries is more for the beach lover and people who want to get out and shop, do shopping, dining, nightlife. And Soufrière is more for the active in terms of hiking, maybe getting in and doing some snorkeling, that sort of thing. Now, hotels here, Sugar Beach. This is actually my wife's favorite one there. We disagree on our favorites, but they're both amazing. Sugar Beach is awesome. You have a lot of different styles of accommodations. You have guest rooms, villas, as well as beachfront bungalows. That top right image, that's Sugar Beach. So that's more of the bungalow style. Beautiful, amazing beach, probably going to be the best beach you can find in all of St. Lucia. And lots included. It is also a family-friendly resort. My favorite is Jade Mountain. This is adults only, and I think it's one of the most unique resorts in the world. That's the middle image. So all of their rooms look like this. You're looking at the pitons. You'll notice there's a wall missing there. That's always missing. You can't close that off. It's open air. There's not a lot of bugs here. Don't worry. No one can see in. You're completely private. No rooms can look at other rooms there. All of them have their own plunge pool. It is extremely romantic and just breathtaking. Right up there with Tahiti's, overwater bungalows. St. James Club, I listed this one here. It is a family all-inclusive resort. The price of this is so low, and I stayed there actually, and it was amazing. So for the cost, I think you're going to be blown away. It's just a really good value with lots of activities included. And then Capmaison is another one of my favorites. This one's on a bluff. It has beautiful ocean views. It does have its own beach. There's a handful of steps you need to take to get down the bluff to the beach. It's not a lot. However, those with limited mobility may not enjoy that hotel if you want to go to the beach at least. Other than that, great rooms. Many of these have rooftop terraces on your own room, so you can go up to the rooftop and just relax. There's lounges up there and stuff. It's a great resort, also at a really nice price, and 2 to 3 bedroom options. Activities, Soufri Adventure Cruise. So there's a couple ways to do this. One of the cruises will take you from the Castries area. So a lot of the really nice resorts and fun resorts are up there. You can cruise down to Soufri, full day, meal included, transfer included for ages 5 up. And it includes activities like hiking to see the waterfalls, the sulfur springs there, as well as getting in and snorkeling. As far as hiking goes, there's a couple options here. You can hike the pitons. This is a little bit more strenuous. I think, most people can do it. However, if hiking's not your thing, this might not be the perfect one for you because you're hiking those pitons. Beautiful views though. You're not going to get a better view. That's a half-day meal included, transfer included hike. There's also the rainforest hike and waterfall. That's a half-day transfer included for ages 5 up. This is a nice hike that's a little bit easier, great for the family, and you get to see waterfalls as well. Last up is Turks and Caicos. When I think of beautiful beaches, it doesn't get better than Turks and Caicos. I think you have the most pristine beaches anywhere right there in Turks and Caicos. Also really popular for those who want to do snorkeling and scuba diving. You do have nice reef areas nearby. You also have, you have the 3rd largest coral reef actually in the world. So obviously great for snorkeling and scuba diving. Also for bird watchers, there's more than 170 different species of birds. So to be honest, I'm trying to take my family here. My wife is deathly afraid of birds, and that sets her off, but we're going to end up going because one resort specifically, which I'll get to. Great for couples, romance, families, and beachgoers. This is a map of Turks and Caicos. You have lots of popular areas here, including Parrot Cay. Grace Bay is also one of the more traditional sections with beautiful beaches there. Hotels, Grace Bay Club. So I mentioned, great beaches. This is located on what's considered to be one of the world's best beaches. It is a family-friendly resort. Aminyara is another family-friendly resort. I like Aminyara because it has options of 2 to 6 bedroom villas. And then beaches, Turks and Caicos. I've talked about beaches plenty. That's the kid focus one. This is generally considered to be by far the very best beaches anywhere. That's the bottom right image you can see. It's just a blast for kids. It's immaculate, it's beautiful, and it has endless activities. So families will be thrilled to be there. And then lastly, the Alexandra Resort, family all-inclusive, studio and suite options. So one thing I want to mention about Turks and Caicos, it does have some all-inclusives there, but it also has more of the European plan or meals not included options to choose from. As far as activities, learn about the locals, the conch farm, the Blue Hills exploration. That teaches you about local life there, and do some shopping, just learn about the communities. It's 2.5 hours, transfers included. Deep sea fishing is also very popular here. This is definitely one of the best deep sea fishing islands. Half day, 12 years and over for that. And then lastly, I want to mention there are cancel for any reason plans for you. Work with your AAA travel advisor for these. Right now with COVID-19, I know the biggest fear is if something changes, because things change regularly in our world today. There are plans out there which ensure that you're not penalized at all and can make any changes or cancel for any reason and be able to get all of your money back. So just work with your AAA travel advisor and they can assist you with any of those destinations as well as protection plans. I went a little bit longer than I wanted to. I apologize, everybody. If you have questions, though, please type those in. Brian, any questions?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Stephen. Great. I'm ready to go. A couple of those resorts I have been at, and they've been fabulous. I was at Secrets Cap Cana and absolutely loved it. Loved the Dominican Republic and the ones you mentioned in Jamaica. So I'm ready to go. Yes, couple questions. When's the best time to go to the Caribbean? That's a
Personal
loaded
preference.
question. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
personal preference. If it's to avoid crowds, then go during hurricane season. It tends to be a little bit less expensive too. So funny though, to be honest, I actually usually go when I go to the Caribbean between September and November myself, which is there in technically hurricane season. But I find that crowds are less, price is right, and I think the weather's perfect. So there's not necessarily one time that I would recommend. It really matters what you're looking for. The Caribbean does get pretty busy around spring break time. Christmas holiday time gets pretty busy. Early summer gets pretty busy. So those are definitely peak travel times where the majority really enjoys going. So it matters what you're looking for.
Perfect. Thank you. And I know you touched on snorkeling a little bit in Turks and Caicos, but are there better islands for snorkeling, or can you suggest a few that are more well known for snorkeling?
Bahamas is very well known for snorkeling. There's some great snorkeling that's very easy there. I mentioned Jamaica also has some easy access snorkeling. The cool thing about Jamaica is you don't necessarily need to go far off the resorts. Some of the resorts have some snorkeling you can do in front of your resort. So it matters on if you're looking to go to a major coral reef or not, or if you're looking to just snorkel outside of your resort. So with that in mind, there will be some differences. Bahamas, though, has a little of both. It has a great reef you can snorkel or dive at, and there are some resorts that you can snorkel right outside of your resort.
Terrific. Thank you. And again, our AAA travel consultants kind of know that as well. So when you're working with them, they can guide you in the right direction. If you're not staying on an all-inclusive where all the meals are included, is dining in the Caribbean expensive?
It can be, and it's not. So I'll give you some personal experiences. So one of the last times I was in Jamaica, I was staying at Sandals, which is all inclusive. I mentioned that I left the resort and went into town. I honestly don't remember the cost of that meal, but it was definitely nothing to blink an eye at. It was inexpensive. Everything generally in Jamaica is pretty inexpensive. At one point, I had made friends with one of the employees at the resorts. he was a young guy that worked at the pool to just do activities, and we were talking about jerk chicken, and he's like, you have to try the authentic jerk chicken like you would get from a street vendor. I didn't have a lot of time that day, or I had some plans that day, but he was like, oh, I'll grab you some. I was like, really? So he went and grabbed some when he was off, met up with me, and I gave him $20, and I had a lot of chicken, and he looked at me like I was crazy giving him that much money. So it's really not expensive on many islands. There are some islands like Turks and Caicos where it will be a little bit higher price points. But in general, no, I think that it's less on probably most of the islands than you would spend right here, mainland US.
Terrific. And depending on the type of meals as well that you're interested, I'm sure there's some variances, but
Sure.
I've experienced the same thing. And I did actually go to that roadside jerk chicken place, and it was fabulous. I didn't have to have anyone bring it to me. I did go there. Ambiance was very different, but I would go back in a minute. Very inexpensive and a lot of fun. Do you recommend a car rental on any of the islands when you go to the Caribbean, or is kind of public transportation, if you're gonna, go sightseeing, that's probably transfers are included with most of that?
Yeah, I don't recommend renting a car. Most of the resorts don't really have parking lots for you, um, but it's just really not necessary. I'm trying to remember again when I had the taxi for a big part of the day, like it's just really inexpensive. If you decide you want to go somewhere, you can easily either arrange a transfer from a transfer company or through your AAA travel advisor, but you can also easily just tell the front desk, say, hey, can you call me a taxi? And they're safe, they're tracked. The resort talks to the taxi driver, checks their credentials, gets the information. I haven't heard of any issues. And it's really inexpensive. It's just not necessary to have a car rental on any
Yeah,
of the islands.
I would agree. And every time that I've gone, I have not rented a car and did exactly what you said. It works out really well. Couple last questions here. Are there resorts that are solo traveler friendly?
There's a lot of different resorts that are solo traveler friendly. I know that I had highlighted a lot of uh, couple resorts, but a lot of all inclusive, the majority of all inclusives, you can go as a single just fine. And there are resorts that specialize in solo travelers. So depending on where you want to go, just work with your AAA travel advisor. They know which ones they are, and they can assist you and make proper recommendations based on what you want to do.
Great. And then last question I have here. Would a trip to Dunn Rivers Falls be feasible from Negril? Now, I've been in Negril and I've done Dunn Rivers Falls, but I haven't gone to and fro.
I mean, it's definitely possible. That would be a little bit longer of a trek. Well, actually, no, Negril. Yeah, you're fine from Negril. Let me go back to the map actually for you guys, because then I'll show you exactly where it is. Hold on one second. You go back. I paused the screen here. All right, and showing the screen. So yes, Negril's actually fine. So Negril's over here. It's a pretty popular area. Honestly, you can definitely get to Dunn's River Falls from there. It's one of the closer areas to Dunn's River Falls, to be honest. Montego Bay is fine. Below Negril's fine. If you were staying, actually, no, it was over here. I'm drawing a blank actually, guys. I'm sorry. I've gone too many times, so then my brain gets my different trips start acting up. I think I was in Ocho Rios when I went to Dunn's River Falls. So Negril would be a little bit more of a trek. So yes, I was right initially. That would be a little bit of a trek. You could do it, but drive times in Jamaica, like when you arrive, you fly into Montego Bay. Driving with your transfer to resorts is fairly time consuming. I've gone to Ocho Rios. It took about an hour and a half. I've gone south in Negril here to one of the sandals there. It took about an hour and a half, almost 2 hours. just because that was a windy road. So it's definitely possible, but it would be a little bit of a trek. So probably not the ideal situation.
Yeah, it being near Ocho Rios and Negril, it is quite, and the roads are, some slow. I've flown into Montego Bay and gone down to Treasure Beach and the South Shore, and it's a bit of a ride. So it is doable, but it probably would be a couple hour ride, I would believe. But we can get more specific with that. So. With that, thank you, Stephen. A great program. To all our participants here, thank you for spending time with us. Don't forget, $100, 5 nights or more, $50, 4 nights or less on a new booking. We're here to help you plan that vacation down the road. When you're ready, we're here. So with that, thank you all, and have a great evening. Thanks again, Stephen.
Thank you.